Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blogs. So let's get to it. Rock stars, I got a lot to do today and not that much time to do it, so I can't be fucking with you guys too long today. Okay. All right, you guys, we're gonna get right through it. First story up, let's talk about Whoopi Goldberg. She was on her show, The View, with the rest of her co-panelists on the show, and they were discussing the Pulitzer Prize winning novel Maus, M-A-U-S. That was one of the books that was taken off of the books of list of books to read in the Tennessee schools. You know, the schools go through every year, I imagine every year they go through a list of books and decide whether or not the books is appropriate, or the books are appropriate for the students to read that year. And if they aren't, then they ban them, take them out of the library, do not assign them for the children to read. So this was one of the books, and they said that it was because it was it had nudity and bad language in it. Now, Maus is a book about the Holocaust, and we know that the Holocaust was responsible for killing 6 million Jews. Now, the book is definitely a reality. It's something that did happen in history, and I'm actually surprised that they took it off of the list of books to read. I mean, we've been hearing about the Holocaust since I was in elementary school, and I know even before that. Now, anyway, as they were discussing the book, even Whoopi Goldberg said that she was surprised that they took it off the list. Okay, I mean, like, it's the Holocaust. You guys are fretting over nudity and bad language when they're talking about killing 6 million Jewish people. So as they tossed the story around, talked about the book, Whoopi Goldberg said that the Holocaust was not about race. Okay, she said it was not about race, that it was about man's inhumanity to man. And even as they continued to talk about the subject, well, actually, they started to kind of veer off onto critical race theory and started talking about other things. But Whoopi Goldberg still did circle it back around to the Holocaust and said that, you know, and this is in layman's terms, but when you look at the Holocaust, this is a group of white people against white people. That's why she felt like it was not about race, but really about man's inhumanity to man. Now, of course, you know that the Jewish community does not take lightly to anybody talking about the Holocaust in any way other than the way that they say that it happened. Okay, and it's not an argument. We definitely know that the Holocaust happened, and the Jewish people are very protective of anything that is said about that. So, of course, they had something to say about what Whoopi Goldberg said. I really honestly don't think Whoopi Goldberg meant it callously. Okay, I think that she probably misspoke. And, you know, when she sat back and thought about it, and then, of course, saw the backlash, Twitter, social media, she finally did come out and say, you know what, she messed up, that she should have said that it was about race and it was about man's inhumanity to man. Okay, but when she said that it wasn't about race, of course, she offended a lot of Jewish people, and people said that it was very unkind of her, and how could she just, you know, so casually you know, act like, you know, these people did not get killed, you know. So that went on and on. Finally, the CEO of ABC went on and put out a statement and said that they are going to put Whoopi Goldberg on a 2-week suspension, so that she can reflect on, you know, what she said and how that was hurtful for the Jewish community. I think that Whoopi Goldberg realized shortly after she said it that it was hurtful, and that was why she did put out her apology. She said she was sorry, you know, that she did not mean to offend so many people, you know, and that she just misspoke. That's the one thing about being on live television, you guys. One of the reasons why I don't do too many lives. I mean, I don't do any lives unless you're part of my book club. And Roxy Reads Book Club is always taking new people. Y'all come on in, child. We reading the Old Thought Next Door. That's our second book for the month. Anyway, child, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, yeah, that's the problem with saying, you know, things on live TV. You don't have a way to edit yourself or, you know, correct yourself. Once you say it, it's out there, and then you've got to go back and say, okay, that's not what I meant, or I should have said this, or I wasn't thinking, you know. So even though Whoopi Goldberg is good at what she does, and she's been on this show for a long time, and she, you know, I'm sure she knows better. I mean, she's human, and she's made a mistake, and she apologized and all. Now they're saying that Whoopi Goldberg is so upset about being suspended. She's embarrassed by this whole fiasco, and that she's contemplating resigning from The View. Now, I don't think I believe that. And I really hope that that's not the case, because Whoopi, people gonna get past this, okay? You did apologize. You didn't try to double down and hold your stance, and, you know, you did clarify. So I hope that she doesn't feel, I hope she's not in her feelings, and I hope that's just a rumor. I mean, if you need to, go sit down and talk to NickCannon. NickCannon was in way deeper. He was in way deeper with the Jewish community. And look, I mean, he was able to apologize, you know, take some sensitivity courses, talk to some rabbis, and get his life back on track, okay? We're going to talk about Nick a little later, honey. But anyway, it's just like, okay, Whoopi, people make mistakes. I know in today's world, for being so very judgmental and cancel culture and all of that, you know, maybe she just feels like this is something that she's not going to be able to get past. But Whoopi, you'll get past it. You've been through quite a bit of things in your life. I can even remember some negative things that you've been through, and you surpassed it just fine. So I think that she will get this okay, get through this okay. Come on back to The View, Whoopi, we need you. All right, you guys, next story up. So it seems that they have arrested the 4 men that they feel are connected in the accidental overdose death of Michael K. Williams. Okay, you guys remember a few months ago, the world was shocked when we found out that he overdosed on fentanyl, the street concoction of fentanyl. And, you know, by all accounts, nobody expected him to kill himself. He was not suicidal. He did have some mental challenges, like, you know, many people do. And he was trying to handle that as best as he could. The drug situation definitely was one of his downfalls. He told, you know, he made it very known, his struggles with drugs and all of that. And so when we found out that he had died, you know, everybody was heartbroken. The police had said then that they were going to find the people that were responsible for getting those drugs to him, and they planned on arresting them as soon as they did. And we've been seeing that they've been making it a point to go after these drug dealers that is, you know, pushing this fentanyl, the street, you know, the street, the street value, or the street, not street value, the street portion of fentanyl is very, it's actually poisonous. And people could just have a very small dose of it and still die. So it's not regulated. Of course, it's not being administered by a health professional or anything like that. So, and again, it's street fentanyl, so it's probably cut with a whole bunch of stuff. Now, he was doing heroin that was laced with the street fentanyl. Anyway, you guys, the police have arrested 4 men, like I said. Irvin Cartagena, he was seen in a video selling the drugs to Michael Williams, and he was actually arrested in Puerto Rico on Tuesday. The other 3 co-conspirators are Hector Robles, Luis Cruz, and Carlos Macai, or Macci, M-A-C-C-I, okay? They were all arrested in New York on Tuesday. So it seems that maybe Cartagena was trying to run away from the, you know, the probing eyes of the police and went to Puerto Rico, but they was able to catch him there. So at least, you know, this can be some solace, some very small solace to the family. But they did catch the person's responsible. And like I said, they have been making it a point to catch these people. The same thing happened with, what was the rapper's name? The kid, the white guy. Oh, God. The one who Karen Civil was good friends with. Why can't I think of his name? It starts with an M. They made it a point to find the people that sold him his drugs when he accidentally died from an overdose. They made it a point to go after the people who gave Demi, what's her name? Demi Lovato, her drugs. She didn't end up dying, but she almost did. Okay. But they did make it a point to go after him, after that person. And now they've got the people that were responsible for Michael K. Williams. So hopefully this will curtail some of this. I mean, it probably won't, because it's just all a part of the game. If you're a drug dealer, you know that's just kind of one of the, that's one of the things, the maybes that could happen if you decide to, dabble in selling drugs, or, if you just hardcore drug dealer, then it just comes with the territory. So, but hopefully that can give some solace to the family of Michael K. Williams that they did catch the people responsible. So we'll see what happens with them. I said we was going to talk about your boy NickCannon. And, I've been trying to give NickCannon a pass and giving him a break, because NickCannon has been through some things recently. We know that the last baby of his that was born, little baby Zen, died from syphilis, I believe, which is like an increase of fluid in the brain. The little boy died, I believe he might have been maybe a year, a little bit over a year, don't quote me, but he was still a very small baby. We're all very sad for NickCannon. I mean, you say all the jokes you want about him and all of his children. None of us wants a child to die. After little baby Zen had died, NickCannon was quoted on an interview saying that he was going to now be celibate, because maybe there are some issues why he feels that, he can't be in a committed relationship. However, he's gotten involved with all of these women and have decided to not wear protection and have, all these babies. So maybe it's just some things that NickCannon needed to deal with. So he said he was going to be celibate. What a difference a day makes, because we found out just last weekend that NickCannon was part of a gender reveal party, and he was one of the guests of honor. Him and the baby mother, Bree, what's the child name? Bree Taisi. Okay, Taisi, I think is her last name. She is a model. They are now expecting a bouncing baby boy. He said she's somewhere around 20 weeks. So that makes her, 5 months? So she has another 20 weeks to go. Of course, the pictures were all over social media, and I looked at that and I just shook my head. I had forgotten that the man had said that he was going to be celibate, but I was just like, really, Nick? Okay, this would be baby number 8. All right, I believe that this would be baby mama number 1, 2. This is probably baby mama number 4. We don't count Mariah Carey as a baby mama. He was married to her. So she is the ex-wife. And I just was like, now I know shit happens, you guys. And I realized that when the baby, when they did this gender reveal, that he probably said that he was celibate after he found out that this Bree girl was pregnant. But of course, it still is not good for the optics, okay, to know that he has yet another baby on the way, and, on top of him still trying to deal with the death of his last little baby boy. Now we have this, he's supposed to be in counseling, and also I was just like, oh, okay, now Nick, what you gonna say about this one? So he went onto his show, and he tried to explain to the people, one, that she was pregnant before he said that he was going to be celibate, like I said. But he also just tried to explain how it was very hard for him. He wasn't sure if he wanted to announce it. They were still trying to keep this whole thing under wraps because, the delicate nature, his last baby mama, Zen's mother, trying to keep in consideration her feelings and just what people will say in social media, and just all of that he was grappling with. He and Bree obviously made the decision to have this gender reveal party. Now, Bree puts out a statement how she was very upset that, you know, she was having this gender reveal party and that it leaked, that the pictures leaked, you know, and that the moment that was supposed to be very happy and just supposed to be very intimate for them and small group of family and friends, now the whole world knows, and it's on top of, you know, what's happened just a couple of months ago with little baby Zen, and, you know, how people are trying to kind of diminish or make it not as happy an occasion. And I was like, first of all, girl, if you was really trying to keep it a secret, you guys wouldn't have had a party. Okay? I'm sorry. You're having a party. That is not a controlled environment. Even if your friends and your family didn't say anything, I'm sure you had staff there that was helping you guys, you know, serve food or serve drinks or, you know, clean up crew, or, you know, it's just way too many ways for that story to get out. So, you know, I just was like, if you really wanted to just be chill on this one, you would not have had a party. You wouldn't have had a party right now anyway. Okay, you could have had a gender reveal party later on in time if you really wanted to make sure that, you know, you kept the story under wraps. So I just was like, well, girl, I don't know what you expected. This is NickCannon. He's been the running joke all this time of all the children that he's had. So somebody couldn't wait to put those pictures out, you know? Now, you know, we've had this discussion plenty times, and I had told you guys that I thought that there were, you know, that it was an issue that he was continuing to do something like this. And people kept on saying, oh, he has the money and he can afford it. To me, it's not a case of whether or not he can afford to have all these children. We know that he is rich and that he can, but you know, you have to be able to give the quality time to your children. And ideally it would be nice if you could be in the home with them. There's no way he can separate himself and split himself up, you know, 5 which kind of ways. Okay. So I just have decided to just leave it alone. It is what it is. He's having these babies. I mean, I guess maybe now he's decided to try to take a look at why he's put himself in this, I don't want to say predicament, because, you know, babies are a blessing, and so I don't want to say that, but just, you know, what his thinking process is, and how maybe he can fine tune it so that, you know, maybe he can go in a different direction and not have to procreate so much. Okay. But yeah, I just was like, and then I was watching, was I reading or was I watching? I was reading on Layla's blog. Layla tells it all. That's the YouTube channel. But anyway, I was reading on her blog, and she mentioned that, okay, so evidently this Bree girl was married to this, I didn't get his name. Damn it, I didn't get his name. But anyway, I think he was a race car driver or something like that. Well, anyway, they got a divorce. The divorce, I believe, was started in 2018. However, it took them some years for this divorce to finally be finalized. So the divorce was finalized in November, I believe, that they said. Now, remember, NickCannon mentioned that she's about 20 weeks, which is about right. That's around the time that you find out the gender of your baby. So when you start adding up these weeks and all, another reason why Bree might have wanted to keep things under wrap, at least according to Layla, is because they possibly got pregnant before her divorce was finalized. Now, it was clear that her and the guy, the ex-husband, were no longer together. So it wasn't like they were in a marital home together and all of that. Yet and still, you know, when you're going through a divorce, the court takes all of that into consideration, you know, and her being pregnant by another man, but still trying to, you know, get a divorce from this man that she's still married to, you know, it doesn't really look all that good. So that might be another reason legally why she wanted to keep it under wraps. Now, the divorce was finalized in November. She had like a big divorce party her friends gave for her, and she said it was wild and crazy, and, you know, she wishes old boy well. And he actually put a whole bunch of happy laughing emojis on there. So them two seem to be cool. But but I don't know, you can't go back on it. Once the divorce is set and the decree is signed and all of that, that's it, right? So even if it now comes out that she might have got pregnant by NickCannon before all of this was finalized, I mean, Is there anything that can be done? Could he go back if he was just super petty and go back and be like, oh no, we were still married and she got, she got pregnant, she was cheating, and I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem like that's what he's going to do, but I mean, that is something, I guess she was one of the reasons that she could have been keeping the shit quiet, because she needed that divorce to close without a hitch, okay? And I guess it did. And now she's having her baby, and now the world knows, so she doesn't have to walk around and hide it any longer, and she can be open and free. And, unfortunately, she's going to have to deal with any judgment that might come from social media, because when you're a celebrity, or you have a baby by a celebrity, and you have a baby by a celebrity who has a whole bunch of kids, and he's had most of his kids in the last year, then you have to deal with all of the scrutiny that comes with it. So, I mean, I wish her well. I hope the baby is healthy, and I hope that she's happy and Nick is happy, and he can continue on, though, and try to figure out why he feel like he got to be fucking on everybody and having all these babies, okay? That's it. Congratulations to the happy non-couple. All right, you guys, next story up. Let's talk about Tom Brady. This is my little contribution to the football thing. Oh, it's just starting to rain, you guys. Tom Brady has decided to retire. Okay, which was a shock to me. I thought the man was going to continue playing forever. I mean, I don't watch football, but I know I've seen Tom Brady for years and years and years and years. I guess after they realized that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was not going to be going to the Super Bowl this season, I guess, Tom Brady was just like, fuck it, I'm ready to just say, forget it, I'm done. He said it was a thrilling ride. I think they said that he played for 22 years between the New England Patriots and Tampa Bay Buccaneers the last few years. I know he left the New England Patriots and everybody was shocked because everyone expected him to retire from that team. He had been with that team the majority of his career, but he went to Tampa Bay Buccaneers, led them to the Super Bowl last year, didn't make it this year, and he said, yes, that is a wrap on that. He just says that his life now requires him to put his attention elsewhere. How old is Tom Brady? 44 years old, and is considered the best quarterback in NFL history. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but it seems to be. I've heard plenty of times my husband and my son talking about the awesome things that that they were just dumbfounded that he's done on the field. So yes, he's done very well for himself. They say that he's won 7 Lombardi trophies, and 5 of those Super Bowl games he was the MVP. So he feels that he's doing the right thing. He feels like he's leaving the game in the best hands of the newest generation of committed athletes, and he's out. He's got a beautiful wife, and their kids and their family, and everybody is super rich, and they all good looking, and life is great for him. Okay, he's 44 years old, like I said, which is like very old in the football world. But I guess when you're a quarterback and you're not as banged up as, you're nowhere near as banged up as those linemen. So that was the reason why he was able to stretch it for as long as he has. But he said that, he never wanted to have a farewell season. He never wanted to announce that this is my last season. He just wanted to go out when he felt like it was time to go. And that time is now. So, like I said, Tom Brady will be calling it a wraps on that. Won't be back for the next season. And congratulations to him. Thank you, Tom Brady, for a wonderful 22 years of NFL football. Okay. While we're talking about football, we might as well also announce that the Washington football team, you guys remember, they were once called the Washington Redskins, okay? And that is a racial slur. There are still many other teams that have racially charged names. Like, I'm just surprised that other teams haven't made the switch to changing their names. But anyway, or their slogans or their mascots. There's a lot of shit going on in the sports world. But anyway, the Washington football team have finally decided on a name, and they announced their name yesterday. They will now be the Washington Commanders. So I'm sure they're going to be getting all of their merch together, and everybody can buy the new name with Washington Commanders, and very, very exciting for them. Okay, I think that was great that they changed their name. Hopefully other teams will follow suit. And then lastly, you guys, since we're talking about football again, congratulations to the Los Angeles Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals. These are the teams that will be facing up in the Super Bowl on February 13th. Okay, did they push the Super Bowl back? Because isn't the NBA All-Star game usually Valentine's Day weekend? I've always thought it to be, and Super Bowl is usually the weekend before that. Well, not this year. This year, I don't even know when the All-Star game is. They haven't said anything about it, so I'm sure it won't be happening in February. But yeah, those will be the teams that will be facing off in the Super Bowl. So congratulations to them. I know the LA is real pumped up about the fact that the Chargers, did I say Chargers, child? The Rams, that the Rams will be going to the Super Bowl. I mean, we hadn't had a football team in years, and then when we finally did, it just took us a few years to get back on top so that we can make it to the Super Bowl. Y'all ain't gonna get no West Coast, bitch. What? Okay. And we are very excited about the Super Bowl halftime show, which as of today is still going to be in LA. We got Dr. Dre, we got Mary J, we got Eminem, we got Kendrick Lamar, we got Snoop Dogg. I mean, we've got like major heavy hitters in LA. I mean, Mary is by way of New York, but you know what? We gonna take it. I think Mary lives in LA, you know, so it's all good. We are excited about all of that. LA is gonna give it to you guys the way you're supposed to get it. It's gonna give what it's supposed to give. I promise you. So we are excited about that. Glad that LA has something to be excited about again in football. Now we can just get them Lakers right, y'all. All right, you guys. My hair feels like it is just blowing up out here. Next story up, you guys. Bishop Noel Jones and that sorry proposal to his long-suffering girlfriend, Loretta, of, 28 years, I believe, that these two have been together. Did you guys see it on social media? It was so embarrassing that I couldn't even really watch it. It wasn't surprising though, because you know what? Now listen. And Bishop Noel Jones is a very well-known bishop in Los Angeles as not Church of the Harvest, child, who has City of Refuge, and it's a mega church in LA. Actually, it was the church that my family and I attended when I lived in Los Angeles. Okay. I know Bishop Noel Jones very well. I mean, I don't know him personally, but I've always admired his preaching style. He's very knowledgeable about the word, and he expresses it well. I have noticed over the last years, the last few years, that Bishop Noel Jones is starting to slow down quite a bit. He's tried to test out other pastors and bring other people in, and it just hasn't worked. But he's starting to slow down, and I guess he's getting ready to, be ready to walk off of the pulpit and, to live the rest of his life however he sees fit. And, but it's been hard for him because he can't get the staff exactly the way that he wants, but he's probably stayed longer than he wanted to. Now, I only say all of that because in the proposal, and I tell you guys, it was a fuck shit proposal. And I shouldn't even say that about the bishop and all, but I love the bishop, but I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I don't know why any woman would want to marry Bishop Noel Jones. I mean, I know why women want to. He's a pastor. He's a bishop. He's very well known. He's a man of the cloth. He's about the word. Women find that sexy, and they want to. I mean, you ought to see how them women would go and prance and sit at the very front pew, and they would be looking a certain way, and you could tell that they had their eye on. I mean, all that was happening. Okay, and that happens in all the mega churches, not just Bishop Noel Jones. But anyway, he's never seemed to be the type to want to be married. He's always been the bachelor. You know, he's always, now evidently he's always been with this woman Loretta. I didn't even know about this woman, even when I was at the church, when I went to the church. The only reason why I knew about Loretta is because of the show. You guys remember Pastors of LA or something like that? And remember, it was him on there. It was the pastor from Church of the Harvest. I can't even think of his name right now. I could see his face and everything, them big old eyes and all that, child. I remember going to visit him. I had some good friends that were big time members of that church. I mean, loved the church, was there all the time, giving all their money and all of that. And I was just like, I went to 1 or 2 services. I was like, what was his name? Child, I can't think of it. Anyway, it was Bishop Noel Jones. It was the pastor from Church of the Harvest. It was the white pastor. And, you know, anyway, even on that show, he was very much an asshole to Loretta. She was always like kind of the pining woman that wanted to be with him, and he would say slick ass shit, and he didn't really care. It was just sort of like, you notice how I am, you want to be on this show, I'm a pastor, so I'm gonna do it. But you know, it was just sort of like, I live in Malibu and I got my Porsche and I ain't trying to do, you know, it was just, that's just how he was. And I was just like, girl, you might as well leave it alone. That man is not getting married, okay? Well, again, what a difference a day makes, because now he has decided, because he's about to be old and decrepit, and that he's about to be slobbering, and he's not going to be able to take care of himself, and he's going to need somebody to wheel him around. Now, and only now, is the reason why he has decided to propose to Loretta. And those are the things that he said in his proposal, amongst other things. You guys go and watch it. But my whole thing is, what the fuck we want this man for when you all broke down and jacked up and everything, and now it's just sort of like, okay, can you please help me? When you had your golden years and everybody wanted to be a part of it then, or, you know, like I said, long-suffering Loretta, she wanted to be a part of it then, and you was not trying to give her the time of day. I was just like, Loretta, girl, you sure you want this? Okay, this ain't gonna be the same bishop that's just gonna be walking up into that pulpit looking real strong and real nice in his black suit, you know, and rubbing his head and really trying to get the word out there for you guys and all that. This is gonna be the bishop, like he said, he gonna be old, he gonna be senile, he gonna be drooling, he gonna be in the wheelchair, and okay, now you can be with me. That shit remind me of when Gina and when Martin asked Gina to marry him, like, clank clank, you got me, are you happy now? Like, what the fuck kind of damn proposal is this? Oh, and she was just so happy she didn't hug him. And listen, I understand he has a sense of humor, he probably was joking, but not really. So it's sort of like, you know, I'm playing but I'm not playing, you know. So I just was like, oh, Bishop, now I'm gonna listen to you about the Lord every single time. I know you what you're talking about when you talk about God, okay? I know that. But when it comes to being in a relationship, being with a woman, proposing, yeah, that's where I'm gonna have to draw the line. And I'm just like, yeah, no. So Loretta, girl, I hope you know what you're doing. Okay, about to be having to be wiping his face and changing his diapers. I mean, these are his words, not mine. So, like, I mean, is that what you signed up for? I mean, if you are, hey, listen, if you like it, I love it.